Too much. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this so that you understand what I'm talking about.
This is not Frank Sinatra.
Down there we have a plant that grows out in the woods and the fields. Looks something like a turnip green. Everybody calls it poke salad. Poke salad. Used to know a girl lived down there and she'd go out in the evenings and pick her a mess of it, carry it home and cook it for supper. Cause that's about all they had to eat. They did all right. Now down in Louisiana, where the alligators grow so mean, there lived a girl that I swear to the world made the alligators look tame. Poke salad, Annie. Poke salad, Annie. Everybody said it was a shame, cause her mama was working on a chain gang. I mean, businesswoman. Every day for supper time, she'd go down by the truck patch and pick her mess of poke salad and carry it home in a tote sack. Poke salad, Annie. The gators got your granny. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Everybody said it was a shame, cause her mama was working on a chain gang. A Richard spiteful, straight razor tote moment. Lord, I mustn't pick my mess up. Her daddy was lazy and no count, claimed he had a bad back. All her brothers were fit for was stealing watermelons out of my truck patch. Poke salad, Annie. The gators got your granny. Ooh. Everybody said it was a shame, cause her mama was working on a chain gang. Sock a little poke salad to me. You know I need me a mess of it. Ooh, good girl. Got to have me. Ate her up.
That's the great Tony Joe White, almost near forgotten now, isn't he? Nobody talks about Tony Joe White now, and what a great singer.
I don't know about that.
You see, you're calling me a liar already.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No.
When was the last time you heard a person talking about Tony Joe White?
I played him the other day.
I know, but that's you. I'm talking about ordinary people. When was the last time you heard an ordinary person talking about Tony Joe
I don't know.
White?
I was just saying to Emma, I think we've discussed this before, but I got the shock of my life the first time I saw Tony Joe White.
And you realised he was a white man.
Exactly. And
Exactly.
I said, is this the same man?
White as white can be.
Yeah.
Very much forgotten and underrated. That's a song called Poke Salad Annie, which is from an album, well, it's a triple album called the Tony Joe White Collection, which is well worth any man's money. Poke Salad. Do you know what Poke Salad is?
There's people talking.
At 11, I'll be taking your calls and talking to some of the survivors.
Do you hear that?
Yeah, what is that?
Bosnia, the forgotten victims. Friday night from 10 on BBC 5 Live.
That's right.
It's 5 Live. Do you hear him saying 5 Live? He's doing a trail for 5 Live.
Yeah, he's doing a trail.
But he's talking differently.
Better start him, because we might hear him.
That's
Do you know what Poke Salad is?
I would say it's some sort of turnip or some sort of...
Turnip?
I'm trying to think. I was going to say vegetable, something. Go on, stop that man from talking in your ear.
Here, we'll play some music.
I think so,
He
yeah.
may
I
say
think so.
something. We'll
Yes,
come back.
That's right.
Because, I have to play a request before I go any further. Hi, Gerry, says Trevor. Still waiting for that Randy Newman track, Feels Like Home, or Neil Diamond's version from his Dreams album. I enjoyed the Billy play and look forward to seeing the other two in the series. I have to admit to wearing a dressing gown like the one Lorna wears in the programme. Not now, but then. Went to see Mary Jones' latest play, Fly Me to the Moon. Classic Mary Jones was hilarious but also poignant. Mary never fails. Hope you can find that track. We'll be listening out for it as I walk the dog on the beach this morning. That's from Eileen. Well, Eileen, I can't find that, but I'm going to play another Randy Newman one. Uncle Vanya's got a showing in the Lyric tonight. That'll be good, with Conleth Hill, one of our best actors. And I think I might go to that tonight. See, I washed my face. What?
It's gone now.
I see that.
Can I tell people that I was in a Mary Jones play?
Go on.
No, but I was. You know about that. Is it right that I should say that? I mean,
Well,
I want to say it. It's not. I want to tell people.
Well, let's put it this way: if you don't blow your own trumpet, who else is going to do it?
Yeah.
Go on, tell them about your appearance in Mary Jones' play.
It was on Radio 4.
I know.
You know that, don't you?
I know, but tell the people. I just know.
No,
but
I
I'm just
just
saying you're
asked
not a
you,
liar.
should I tell the people?
Tell them.
That's all right then.
They
No.
need to know.
No, but I will.
She
in
had
future.
a play on Radio 4.
Yeah.
Mary Jones had.
Yeah.
And an important part was played by no less a person, actor, thespian, and indeed all-round good guy, Mr. Coyle. Tell them the story.
Oh no.
Go on.
Oh.
What part did you play?
I played Daniel O'Donnell.
I know.
I know.
But you see, how did you feel about that? What is that?
It's
What
you,
is going on
You're making
here?
noises. Where's Ken?
Me. I don't know what Ken's having his breakfast, for God's sake.
No, Ken's back.
Is
As
he?
far as I know, yeah.
Anyway, so tell the people about your play on Radio 4. How was it received by the critics? They don't like us, you know.
Who?
The critics.
I thought you meant radio.
You're on Radio 4 and they don't like us either, no. No, some of them, a lot of them don't. But some of them do. Anyway, did they like you?
Well, I don't know.
What did you remember any of your lines? What was the play called? Look at the many questions I'm asking you. And
I
you're
know.
answering
It's
anything.
it was. I don't like to talk about it.
Women on the verge of HRT.
Women on the verge of.
Women on the verge of HRT.
Yes.
Why can you not say that? It's hormone replacement therapy.
I know.
Women on the verge of hormone replacement therapy. That's like semen. You can't talk about that either. Go on, say that.
No.
For me. Say semen. Go on.
It's
on.
about girls.
Go on, say Siemens
no.
mission. Siemens mission.
And it's 20 minutes to 11. And
this, a time
anything at all.
All right then. So
Look
it
at
was
this
women on the verge of
receipt.
HRT. And what did Daniel say? People know the premise because the play has been touring extensively.
No, but I can't remember what I said.
That's all right then.
I really don't, but they go to Daniel's house in Kincashla for tea.
Yes.
I think that's what it is.
And you're in it.
And I play the host, being Daniel.
You must have said things. Oh, come on.
I didn't do all that. I don't know.
that's good.
But I can't, but
Well, just say whatever you like. You said you're going to tell the people, and then you told them nothing.
no, but
Why can't you talk today? You can't talk at all.
why? You know why?
Because I said that word.
No,
Why?
because I'm for
You're
the
not well.
hospital at 3 o'clock.
Hey, you're very worried about your future. You may not have one. No. I'm perfectly confident that you'll.
You're popping.
I know. I'm perfectly confident that they'll give you a charge and a discharge and a complete clean sheet.
That's good.
So what is poke salad? Just
right.
for musical trivia. There are people out there because we mentioned what poke salad was.
Well, of course I don't know, but let me guess.
Popping again. Popping.
Let me guess.
How do you spell poke salad?
POLK.
Yes, that should be a clue in itself.
Oh, should it?
Yes.
That should be a clue in itself.
Yes, if you're aware of what's going on in the world around you, which I'm sure you're not.
Yeah.
Poke salad was a mess of poke salad. Poke salad was a kind of a cabbage kind of.
Well, that's what I said to you, like a turnipy type of thing, a vegetable.
I'm starting a sentence. It was a cabbagey type, low life kind of food that you didn't eat at all. It was like, what would be the equivalent of it? Like watercress. You know, during the famine, for instance, what did people in Ireland not eat during the famine?
I was trying to think of what, I couldn't remember what it was that Captain Bligh and those boys went and got.
Breadfruit.
That's it. Breadfruit. Now, explain to me what. I was out walking the other night and I was thinking about Bligh and those guys. And
As you do.
yeah. What exactly was or is breadfruit? What?
They discovered in the tropics, and particularly the Hawaiian Islands, that a particular plant grew called the breadfruit. It was extremely high in nutrition, and it was almost as nutritious as the potato. And it was energy efficient. It didn't require much in the way of care to grow it. and they discovered that it could possibly grow in all climates. But for some reason, it did not grow in Europe because it was native.
They've brought it back here, didn't they?
So he was sent to Hawaii to bring back the breadfruit and indeed nurture it along and see if they could grow it in England because they would use it to feed the army. And the people on the Bounty, they didn't like the breadfruit at all. They thought it was stodgy. It was kind of like...
But what was it? That's what I want to... It
was kind of like a cross between...
was it a spud, you said?
No, it was bigger. It looked like, but the same size as a coconut, perhaps. And it was like a cross between a turnip and a potato, if you can imagine that.
Did it grow on trees or did it grow on the ground?
I really don't know. I think it grew in the ground.
No, I'm not trying to trick you up. It's just I just thought...
Why aren't you trying to trick me up?
Because I know you have read extensively about Bligh.
About Captain Bligh, yes.
And I remember borrowing that book from you about his... It was a fantastic book.
Yes, about a journey to Bataan.
Yeah, it was amazing.
No, not Bataan. What do you call
the
place?
It wasn't. It was...
Batavia. That's it. Sorry, Batavia. Anyway, what's your question?
What's breadfruit?
What
was breadfruit?
It was something like...
but did they call it breadfruit?
They called it breadfruit.
They said, we found this vegetable. We'll just call it breadfruit.
The Hawaiians called it something different, but the white man called it breadfruit. Look, here's a gentleman who's...
And then they ate turtles as well, too.
Well, see, everybody ate turtles. A terrible thing what they used to do is turn them upside down on the deck.
I know.
And they would live for 6 months. Not happy, but alive. And then they would eat them. Anyway, that's things that we don't want to talk about. There may be children listening.
No,
There's a man who's concerned about your health. He said, tell Sean to Google conjunctivitis.com. It's a site for sore eyes.
That's very funny.
Poke salad.
Yes.
What was poke salad?
Poke salad, I don't. I told you, I thought it was some sort of turnip because he said that's what he describes it. I think in the song. It was turnip-like.
It was a food that was eaten by people who were desperate.
Yes, it tells you that.
There was one particular time when the economy in America was desperate. It was the time coming up to just before the Civil War when all things were going bad. And the president at that time was particularly bad, and the people were not happy, and they were starving practically, almost like the famine here in a way, but not as serious. And the president's name was President Polk.
What was it?
That's it.
I never knew that.
You should stick with me, kid. You'll find out everything.
President Polk.
Polk, P-O-L-K. He was president up until about, I think it was 1850, 1849.
I never
something
knew
like
that.
As in poke salad.
I can never say that again.
How do you feel today?
I feel...
You don't look much better.
No, well, I have a heavy head cold, as you can hear. And there was a lot of grunting last night.
But apart from that, I'd talk about illness.
There's a call for you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Gerry.
I'm sorry you had to hear that. How are you today?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm all right. I couldn't be better. If I was any better, I think I might be arrested.
Now, listen, what's all this carry on? You're giving Sean a terrible hard time.
No, do you know what happens? You see, ill health is a terrible thing.
I mean, why don't you have sympathy for him?
Because 2 weeks ago I was dying and he had none for me. You see, it swings and roundabouts.
He did have some for you.
No, he had none whatsoever.
Oh, I think he did.
I was at death's door about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and no sympathy was coming at all. And so I feel as if now that I'm back to 100%, I must lash him back. Anyway, I know I'm wrong, but I enjoy it. I know it's unfair, but there's many a thing that is unfair, but you enjoy it. I mean, there are things that are sinful and unfair and evil, which can be very enjoyable. I enjoy things.
I was actually going to turn over to 5 Live.
Oh, don't do that. Victoria, Derbyshire.
Oh, yeah, she's very nice.
She's lovely, but don't do that. Because
Don't do that?
Don't do that,
Well, I
no.
promise I'll not if you continue to make Sean's day and be nice to him.
But you want to see the state of him, you know. Okay, I realise you have sympathy, and I realise that I should share that sympathy, but I just can't find it in my heart to do so. Is there anything else you want apart from that? Is there anything else?
Hard on him.
I know I'm being hard on him, but somebody has to be. Don't you understand? It's my job.
Well, your job is to entertain the nation.
You see, I had an argument with that about a guy the other day, and he didn't seem to think that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing.
I can't hear you.
I can't say anything more because, I can't talk any louder. It's just one of those things. Is that what you want to talk to me
Are
about?
your levels down today?
I don't know. What are my levels like today?
I don't think they're good, and also you're not speaking very loud, Mr. Anderson.
But you're not supposed to speak loud.
You're not projecting your voice at all. Yes,
I'm projecting my voice as well as I can.
Sean, can I speak to you?
Yes, Susan. Yes, Susan.
Sean, you see, do you know why he's talking so low? Because I'm giving off to him.
Yes, I
and
know.
He doesn't want the rest of the people to hear that.
Mm-hmm. He's rascal.
All right, continue.
He's terrible.
Continue.
You know, he's giving you a very hard time.
I was listening to a man last night on the radio. I want to talk to you about this, Mr. Anderson. There's a man on a certain radio station last night,
Yes.
and he was playing some great songs. But you see, halfway through, say, the last verse,
Yes.
he faded and talked over the whole. He did that for every song.
Did he?
Why do they do that?
That's a
Do they
question
think
of-
it's cool? Do they think it's right? You know,
It's
I
a
was
question of ego, I think. But you need to name this man.
No, I can't. No,
Go
it's
on.
not fair.
Go
No,
on.
I was sitting last night, late on, well, say around 12:15 or so, and then, lo and behold, on comes the Sloop John B. And I said, there's the Sloop John B.
I like the end of that you said.
And same here. And I'm sitting going, the Sloop John B to myself, singing along with it. And he starts to talk over it, and you can hear the Sloop John B ending. And I said, why didn't he just shut up?
Well, some misguided
Every
people,
song.
some misguided people who are on the radio broadcasters, some misguided people think that people want to hear them rather than the music. I don't know why anybody would get that kind of an idea. If you get time today, please, says Linda, would you please play something for Brian, my husband's birthday?
Gerry, I'm still speaking to you.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading your request. Will you hold on a second, for God's sake? Have you no common decency?
I might.
Something to remind him of his misspent youth in Derry, Stoke Londonderry, something like the Undertones Teenage Kicks. We live in the south of France, and he emails you sometimes with stories about growing up in Derry. He has lots of tales about it, and I keep on telling him he should write a book of them because they're often very funny. Anyway, he always listens to your show. Keep on keeping on. That's from Linda, and happy birthday, Brian. We'll
Who's
play
he?
Brian.
Brian who?
I don't know. It doesn't give a surname.
Oh.
It doesn't matter. Who's this lady again?
Susan.
Susan, I'm sorry. Sometimes I have to go away from you, Susan, to tend to
know,
other
I've
people.
noticed.
You're not the only person in the world, There's other people who require treatment and indeed attention.
All right. Well, will you give Sean some attention?
He doesn't need any.
All right. I'm not going to say any more because you're not listening.
I am listening, of course. I feel very strongly that I should take the listeners' views on board. You feel as if I'm being harsh on him.
Yes, fair.
All right, then I'll try not to be.
Try to be nice to him, Gerry.
Okay, it may not be easy, but I'll do the best I can.
Well.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Think over it. Bye.
Bye.
Would you
Bye.
say
I'm
hello
so
to
false
Jim?
today.
I know. Would you say hello to Jim on too?
Okay, Jim on two. All right then. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mr. Anderson.
How are
The
you
man who
today?
solves everybody's problems. I wonder, could you solve a little problem for me?
Okay.
I'm looking for a CD by Dickie Rock.
Ah!
I know what you're going to think. It's not for me, no. Don't start that at this time of the year. It's called 20 Very Special Love Songs.
Very special love songs.
Yeah, if I had time, I would sing one to you, Gerry.
Oh, thank you. Well, you see,
No.
Valentine's Day coming up, of course, on Tuesday.
Yes, in actual fact, I want the copies for a dear friend who will be sending them to Australia.
Yeah, okay.
Now, the only information she has of the one she has got at the moment is it's Platt, Platt, CD 747.
Right.
Now, I've heard you often on the radio giving out the name of a record shop in Belfast that would have old copies.
Well, there's a man in Ballyclare called Bert McCormick. He's about the best, I think. With taking due cognizance of the rest of the guys. He
What's
seems
the
to
name
try
again,
hard.
please?
Bert McCormick. McCormick. You'll get him in Ballyclare. He's very good. If anybody else can help, though, by all means, give us a ring and we'll mention their name as well. But he seems to be fairly consistent in getting things that are rare. And that is quite rare. Dickie Rock's 20 Very Special Love Songs.
Yeah, I know.
On Platt CD 747.
I
Thank
nearly
you very
worked
much
on that
indeed, Mr.
CD.
Anderson.
Excuse me?
I nearly worked on that CD.
What do you mean? What do you mean you nearly worked on it?
He was the man holding the red roses.
No, Dickie asked me to compile a list of songs that he should record.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Dickie Rock asked you that?
Uh-huh.
What did he say he'd give you in exchange for this hard work?
Nothing. Absolutely. It's Dickie, isn't it? We know Dickie.
Dickie, how would you like to do me a favour,
Yeah.
Sean? Sean, tell you what. Sean, will you do me a favour? Will you put together 20 songs and give me the titles? And I'll
Oh, not only that, I had to record them.
What do you mean record them?
I had to put them onto what was it?
A
then?
cassette.
A cassette, I think. Probably
And
a
send them
cassette
to
then,
him.
And send them to him.
So you're the man. You may have been the what would you call that?
I don't know. Wonder did he credit? Wonder on my credit. Look who's in behind you.
Ken is here. You may have been the inspiration for that record. Plot CD 747. See, without you, that may never have happened.
Yeah.
Well, have you got that?
No. that was the last I heard of it.
This man's looking for it.
No, I didn't realise Dickie recorded.
He went ahead and he probably asked somebody else to do it. He probably asked Frank Mitchell to do it. Anyway, I'm not comparing one to the other, Sean, but you know what I mean. Yeah. So you want this, and you're asking people out there if they've got that 20 very special love songs by Dickie Rock, if they could maybe let you know, and maybe you could borrow it, or maybe you could buy it off them, or whatever.
Yes, exactly, Gerry.
All right then.
Thank you very much indeed for your help.
Not at all. 'Tis a pleasure.
Morning.
Okay, bye. I didn't realise that Dickie had asked you to do things for him.
Oh, aye. Oh, many's the thing I've been up to with Dickie.
Friend of the stars.
Yeah. We go back a long time.
Many strings in your bow, many arrows in your quiver. This is for Stephen Nolan.
Since we were little babies, I was a comfort to his mother and a pal to his dad. Before they passed away, they say, take care of our David. You may be the only friend he ever will have. David the fat boy, David the fat boy, isn't he round? Isn't he round? What do he weigh, folks? Can you guess what he weighed? No, it's only a quarter. Win a teddy bear for the girlfriend or something for the wife. You've got to let this fat boy in your life. I think we can persuade him to do the famous fat boy dance for you. Give me half a chance. I just know you like my fat boy's dance. David the fat boy, David the fat boy, isn't he round?
That was Randy Newman, Davey the Fat Boy. We'll be back after the news.
Drive out to the ocean just to gaze out to the sea. You see us coming, you run away from me.
No, we'll be back before the news.
We all know that you're alive, and we watch you try and hide, but you don't know that we'll try and find you again. I wish I wore glasses, then I'd look so cool. She wears them in her hair at the disco. I swapped my brother for a Pokemon card. Shiny gems on. We want you to be free, but can you still not stay with me? Monopoly
That's a band called Wonder Villains from Derry Stroke Londonderry, and that's a song called Ferrari. That's from an album called Oh Yeah album called Contenders. And they'll be appearing at a very special event, which I'm sure you will attend, Sean, next Tuesday on Valentine's Day. The old Ebrington Barracks site in Derry Stroke Londonderry on the waterside side of our city will be open to the public, and a ceremony will take place between the hours of 6 o'clock and 10 o'clock, and all various people, important people, will be there, and bands will be playing, lights will be played, lights will be shone, there'll be fireworks, everything, all kinds of stuff, and everybody's urged to go over there. And the Wonder Villains will be one of the bands there. Will you be there, Sean?
Will you be there?
I will be there, yes, because I regard it as my civic duty, and I suppose you'll be the same.
On 92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
This is BBC Radio Ulster.
It's 11 o'clock, and with the BBC News, this is Keith Burnside. Activists in the Syrian city of Homs are claiming that up to 30 people have been killed in a sixth day of bombing by government forces. Many more people are said to have been wounded. Jim Muir is monitoring developments from Beirut.
Early morning brought another barrage of rocket and shell fire, much of it focused on Baba Amr. Video posted on the internet by activists showed bodies being pulled from under the rubble of homes. They said 3 whole families were among those who died in the latest bombardments. Syrian state TV has also been showing footage of intensive shelling and shooting in Homs, but it blamed the violence on armed terrorists, who it said had been terrorizing and killing citizens and firing mortars at public buildings and mosques.
Detectives investigating the murder of 16-year-old Melanie McCarthy McNamara in Dublin on Tuesday have found what they believe is the murder weapon. The shotgun was discovered close to where the gunmen abandoned the getaway vehicle off the Naas Road near City West. The police say they've arrested 4 men while investigating reports of a burglary near Hillsborough. 3 of them were detained at the scene. The 4th ran off but was caught a short distance away. A policewoman was punched in the face during the arrest operation. There are reports from Rome that Fabio Capello has already left the UK for Italy after a shock resignation as England manager yesterday. He'd been due to step down from the England job following this summer's European Championship. Malcolm Clark is head of the Football Supporters Federation. He says it's not an ideal situation so close to a major tournament, but it may turn out for the best.
Nobody would have wanted this to happen. Obviously, sometimes new managers do give new impetus to teams. You can see what's happening at Sunderland under Martin O'Neill. And I'm sure that all supporters will hope that whatever they think about the background to this, that a new manager will give it a bit of new impetus.
Now more on that story with Joel Taggart.
Thanks, Keith. A director of Tottenham Hotspur says the club will wait to see what develops regarding their manager Harry Redknapp and the England job. Sir Keith Mills said it wasn't a foregone conclusion that Harry would be approached, but if he is approached, then he's got a big decision to make. Swansea manager Brendan Rodgers has signed a new 3.5-year contract that should keep the Carnlough man at the club until 2015. The French veteran scrum half Dimitri Yashvili will miss Saturday's Six Nations Championship clash with Ireland with a back injury. Morgan Parra will replace him. And at the Dubai Desert Classic Golf, Ballyclare's Gareth Maben is 1 under par after 11 holes. Rory McIlroy 1 under after 10. Michael Hoey's 2 over after 8. And Rafael Cabrera Bello leads the way after an opening round 9 under par 63.
On to the weather, and Lindsay Armstrong has the details.
The cloudy and wet weather will continue into this afternoon, but it will gradually clear in the west, so counties Fermanagh and Armagh will benefit from drier conditions later. The rain will linger in the north and east with some moderate bursts, but some breaks too. There'll not be too much in the way of bright weather though, but it will remain mild with light winds and highs of 9 degrees.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel News.
Motorists should expect disruption in Armagh this evening as the 22nd Annual International Road Race is taking place from 6:30 until 9:30. Mall East will be closed to traffic and Mall West will be closed heading south, which will affect motorists travelling from Dungannon towards Newry. Motorists will be diverted via the Portadown Road and Tower Hill. Anyone travelling through Armagh on the night is asked to be mindful of competitors and spectators around the mall area, and motorists should allow extra time for their journey. And finally, at the George Best Belfast City Airport, the 10 o'clock flight from London Stansted has been delayed until 11:30. Aileen Moyna reporting.
Travel News on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, house prices in crisis. Are you stuck in a house you can't shift or desperate to buy but can't get a mortgage? We want to hear from you at 12. What next for England? We'll go live to the FA's news conference. The granite for the Titanic Memorial, shipped in from China, could it have been brought from the Mourns? Also on the programme today, 45 million won on last night's Euro Millions lottery. We're asking, what's the perfect lottery win? 45 million? 400,000? And Primark, or is it Primark? We've all shopped there, but what's the right way to say it? You can tell me. We'll talk back at 12.
Thank you, Wendy. That's Talkback coming up at 5 minutes past 11. No, it's not coming up at 5 minutes past 11. It's coming up at 12. It is now 5 minutes past 11. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme is 08459 555 678. The email address is gerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk and the text messaging service is 81771. Did you say the other day that I was kind of going like that?
Yes.
That's John Hume used to do that.
I say Primark.
You say Primark.
Yeah.
I say Primark. 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 Let's call the whole thing
Primark.
off. Welcome to, what?
I didn't mean to.
I know.
Stop that.
I love it when you're in pain. Welcome to Acoustic City. Cough a little more for us.
No.
I may be able to diagnose from the tenor of it. Sounds bad.
Every time I turn around, a man's trying to get me down. I just can't see your face. I'm blinded by the sun, living on the run, and I can't remember this place. Won't you take me to the other side? Let me go when I'm high. Won't you take me to the other side? I put a mama on a wheel, won't you let me ride? I better slow down before I wreck, driving on the river's edge. My mama says I come back home, but I can't keep 'em running fast, burning up the years, grass on Uncle Sam's dirt road. Won't you take me to the other side? Let me go when I'm high. Won't you take me to the other side? I put a mama on the wheel, won't you let me ride? Never stays the same except the rain falling down. Well, you can't keep 'em going on, the winter's always damn cold. It's time to put the hammer down. Won't you take me to the other side? Let me go when I'm high. Won't you take me to the other side? I'll put a mama on the wheel, won't you let me ride? Won't you take me to the other side? On the wheel, won't you let me ride? Won't you take me to the other side? I'll put a mama on the wheel, won't you let me ride?
I love to see them straw dogs round my door, come sneaking round my skirt tail looking for more. You ain't running from the past, you ain't making my heart beat fast, you ain't chugging your paycheck, and you ain't hugging on my neck. Well, I've been looking for trouble from the get. Them cowboys back where I come from won't quit. Cutting up tires on an oyster shell, siren screaming and it's running like hell. Mama's on the front porch staring him down. Ladies at the beauty shop coming unwell. If the Lord will want you, neither do I. I ain't got no time to waste my shine on a puppet with a clip-on tie. If the Lord will want you, neither do I. Hired that boy to cut my grass, nailed in a shingle but he couldn't get past. Staring at the bottom of his low slung pants, he says he's gonna take me to the big buck dance. Well, if the Lord will want you, jacked up and necklines plunging low. Some snake hip shirt rip giving me lip, rifling my purse and stealing my tips. There's something about a man can affect that lean, keeping his hat on yanked down me. If the Lord don't want you, neither do I. Play born to lose and you light my fuse. I'm a sucker for a bald-faced lie. If the Lord don't want you, neither do I. If the Lord don't want you, neither do I.
Now that's an unusual song.
I'll ask Gerry to give the details.
That's an unusual song in that I have no idea who it is. Now before that we had a song called Ryan Bingham. It was called Take Me to Another, whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called. But that particular track, that sung by that girl, I have no idea who she is. I'll tell you why. Do you know the story of this record here? This is a record called Kin by Rodney Crowell and various other people. And Rodney Crowell gave me this. And he said, there's my new album, son. And I said, is there a track list? There ain't no track list. So I'm just giving to you. You have a listen to it.
Called you son?
He called me son. Yeah, people from the South always call the boss son. Different son. Gotta have a listen to this, son. So he gave it to me, and I have no idea what song. It's called Can. I said, called Can? How do you spell that? He said, K-I-N. Can.
There's a man for you and one.
Is there?
Yeah.
I saw something the other day, which I think
I
is...
don't think the people in the South call you son.
Yeah, listen, son. I'm going to tell you something, son. See, Elvis used to say that, son. Son.
I can't hear Elvis saying son.
That's because he's dead.
I
Listen,
can't
son. No, people in Arkansas. Arkansas, a place like that, call it listen, son.
No.
It's not a paternal thing, it's just son.
No, I know. I don't think... I can't hear Elvis saying it.
Well, Elvis, what can I say?
Don't put a little songs on. No, I can't hear him do it.
Don't make fun of Dickie Rock. I saw him in the City Hotel in Derry, Stoke Londonderry in January, and he was great.
So I believe people were saying that. Absolutely amazing.
I saw a thing. See, Dickie Rock is indestructible and incorrigible. Dickie will never be cut down because Dickie's ego plows a swathe through everything in front of him. And he's a fine singer and a fine performer.
Is that fair to say ego?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's got a huge ego.
I don't think
you need
so.
that.
I don't think.
Dickie?
Are
you serious? But I'm not slagging him because this is a positive thing.
That's why I'm saying...
Dickie thinks he's the best singer in the world.
I don't think so.
It helps you when you think that because it comes across on stage.
What's the difference?
Do you think Dickie comes out and say, "Oh God, I hope you like me"?
No
what's
way. Difference? What's the difference? And this is a serious question. What is the difference in ego and confidence?
Ego is confidence squared.
Let me work that one out. So Dickie...
Ego is confidence multiplied by confidence.
Dickie is a very confident guy, okay.
He's cocky. He's so confident that he's cocky. He knows he thinks he's the best singer in the world, and he knows that the people will regard him as the best singer in the world, and he knows that people who don't know much about singing will think that he's the best singer in the world. That's enough for him because they pay to come in.
I don't think so. You would know him better than me.
I know Dickie better than you, even though he asked you to compile his latest album.
You were in the game, so you...
I was never on the game.
You know these things.
I do.
Understand. But I find him...
Dickie's notorious for two things.
To me, he's just a showman. He's a guy who is made to perform, the guy who is made to go out on the stage. The stage is where he belongs.
Dickie's known for two things.
An ego
Dickie is known, in the business, Dickie was known for two things. And I can only speak about the 70s because I wasn't around after that. I died in 1975.
Right, you're talking 60s now when you were playing...
60s and 70s. Dickie was known for two things, and this is not a bad thing to say about him. Dickie was known for an incredible ego and was known for his parsimony.
Right, yes.
Dickie was a man, if everybody else went at a stop would buy sweets, Dickie would buy an apple because he didn't have to share it. Don't make fun of Dickie. I won't make fun of Dickie. Dickie was never a shrinking violet. Sean, Elvis tells us...
I quite like Dickie Rock.
I like him too.
I like Dickie Rock.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I like him too, but he's just, he's never had a moment of self-doubt. Unlike us, we're probing all the time looking for
I think you... we'll come back to Elvis in a minute, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
But I think you were the first person to talk to Dickie about his wig.
Yes.
I think you on your Anderson
TV.
on the Box
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
And Dickie said to you, go ahead.
I said to him, I said, don't
you were
mind
the first.
talking. I said to him, will you talk about the Irish jig?
And he says, no problem.
Yeah. If
Go
anybody
ahead.
else is afraid
Said
to say
everybody
it,
else knows where we
Tell
go
us about
ahead.
your rug, Dickie.
Yeah, I think you were the first person to bring it
I
up.
was the first time I saw him taking it off, I was amazed. He's not at all vain, you know. I remember being with, I was quite
You
friendly.
see, that's another area, and I would like to talk to you
Dickie's
about.
not
What's the
terrible-
difference in vanity, ego, and confidence?
What is this? English literature 101?
No, but what is it? What's the difference?
All right, vanity
Vanity
is a thing.
Hitful thing. You know, people.
Vanity
who are-
is a negative thing.
Yeah, vanity is negative. yes.
Ego can be negative, but is usually positive. Confidence is completely positive, right?
Right.
Confidence is positive. Ego tends not to be. It can ruin you, but vanity. There's no way back from vanity. Vicky's not vain. Dickie's not vain. I'll tell you when I first realised that. I used to be quite friendly with some of the guys. The bass player, actually, out of the band. I was Paul Ashford. I was quite friendly with him. And every time that he would play in Dublin, I would kind of, hang about, go along, if I was off, and I'd go around the band room, have a chat with Paul, and that kind of thing. And the first time I ever did that, I was in, and Dickie was out signing autographs and stuff like that. Spit of me, Dickie, sign autographs. But then there were a few little, girls, little girls with short skirts. We call them groupies. They were in the dressing room, of course, minding their own business. And I'm not saying that they get anything to do with them, but I'm saying that there were people in there who weren't in the band.
Yes.
Outsiders, punters, so to speak.
Making tea and things like that.
Making tea, and asking the boys, do you want some liquor, all sorts,
Yes,
and
yes.
like a cup of tea, boys, that kind of thing. Small girls, with big chests and big long legs.
Yes.
And I hate that kind of thing, Of
course.
I've always tried to avoid it because it can get awkward at times.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Dickie came in and he went, "How are you, girls?" There was about half a dozen of them there. The first thing he did was whipped off his wig and he put it on the coat hook.
Yeah.
And the girls went, like that. He said, "You never see a bald man before?"
Yeah.
And I said to myself, "No, that's not vain. That's not vain." He wasn't vain at all. Sean, Elvis tells us before he sings Poke Salad Annie that poke salad is turnip greens, which I imagine are the leaves of the turnip. You're probably right. But never having lived in the southern states of America, I'm not possibly entirely sure what poke salad is, but I know it's something that you don't want to eat.
Well,
if
can I ask
have
you
a
one
choice.
other...
Why do you never let me finish my sentences?
Just before you move on.
Yes.
About the Dickie Rock thing.
Yes.
Right? Before there's a man waiting to talk to you.
I'm not going to talk about Dickie Rock again. I finished.
No, but this is just my final question to you.
Yes.
And I want an honest answer.
Okay.
I don't want...
Old flannel.
What did you say?
You don't want old flannel?
I thought you said something else about
No, I
Dickie
didn't.
Rock.
No, I didn't.
All right,
Go
right.
ahead.
Is Dickie Rock, in your opinion, is Dickie Rock a good singer?
Not really. Not really. He tends to sing flat. No, sorry. He tends to sing sharp. A little above the note, yeah. He's not a good singer, no. No, he's got quite a good voice, but he's not a good singer. But, you don't need to be a good singer. Look at Joe Dolan, for God's sake. Look at Daniel. Look at Brendan Boyer, all those showgun guys. Well, Brendan Boyer had a good voice. He had a kind of semi-operatic voice. He wasn't bad. He was about the best of them, really. What are we talking about this? These are people all dead.
Oh,
Is Dickie not dead?
No,
he
still
wasn't
going?
dead. That's right, yeah. Anyway, none of them dead. These are all things in the past. Why do you keep making me talk about things in the past? I want to talk about something that I saw the other day which shocked me gravely. There's a very strange thing happening in society, and as you know, this programme is a mirror of society. Do you know the way people are concerned now about a lot of women are going out and leaving their children to school whilst they're wearing their pyjamas? Not the children wearing their pyjamas, the mothers.
Yes.
And this has come about by the fact that I think it may have been nurtured by the Troubles, or maybe it's because of the soft way that we live. People now live in the house practically all the time. Now, I know people who haven't been out for weeks. Do you know people like that? I mean, really haven't been out for weeks. There was a time when you
couldn't stay in the house.
I know, but there's people who do that. There's people who go. You go in your home at maybe after you do your wee show. I know you're exhausted after it.
Yeah.
When you're finished at 5 o'clock, you go home and you maybe sit down, have a bite to eat, then you go out again. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But see, a lot of people don't go out at all. Especially people who aren't working and people who are, housewives, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. They just don't go out. Now, I talked to a woman the other day, and I'm serious about this. And she said, "I'm going out for my date tonight." I said, "Oh, where are you going?" She named a restaurant. She says, "Do you know what's great? I haven't been out for 2 years." I said, "You haven't been out for 2 years?" "No, I've been out for 2 years." I said, "Wait, what do you mean?" Nobody here. What do you mean out? So I haven't been out at night for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
I said, "Well, where have you been every night?" "I've been in the house every night." I said, I mean, you have stayed in the house every night for 2 years. She said, yes. I said, not even go out? No, just don't go nowhere. And a lot of people are like that. Some people get up in the morning, and that's why they leave their kids to school in their pyjamas, because why get dressed up? Because they're not going to go out again. What's the point of getting dressed up just to go out? But I saw a thing the other day.
I don't like that, you know.
I don't like it either, but I don't care, you know. I don't care. I mean, I don't want to lash them with a rope or anything, the way you do. You want to round them up and shoot them.
To me, I said, I don't like it. I said to myself, they're just lazy.
I know, but I don't mind that. You see, it just doesn't matter to me. I just regard it as I look at it with an anthropologist. A person's eye.
Yeah.
An anthropologist, I look at that and I say, no, that's a very interesting thing. Now, I saw a thing the other day which is a step further from that, right? You ready for this? Night. Picture the scene. 8 o'clock at night.
Right.
It is sub-zero. It is raining. You're just waiting for it to freeze. It is really, really cold. The wind is going, right? You're sitting in your car like that. The wind is lashing your windscreen, and you have to go out into the shop to get a pint of milk. You say, Jesus, and and you run into the shop and you run out again, right? This is a place where you can park outside a shop. A car pulls up beside me, right?
Yes.
Now, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, I don't believe that.
Well, I want to hear it first.
No, but you don't have to hear it. I know you're going to say, I don't believe that.
I'm beginning to doubt it already.
I know. I can see it in your face.
Yeah.
You're rubbing your hands. You're going like that.
Yes.
He's going to tell a lie now.
Yes.
I get a chance to call him a liar again. A woman got out in her bare feet and walked into the shop. She's wearing a pair of what you would call slacks and a jumper. A loose jumper just thrown on in her bare feet, and walked through.
You can't drive a car with your bare feet.
I'm telling you. And I know
was she a passenger in the car? Or was she driving?
She was driving. And I'm going to tell you something and I realised that was a progression from the pyjamas. Because when you're in the house, sometimes, you know the people, sometimes you go into the house and they ask you to take your shoes off. Have you got a house like that? Come on.
What?
Have you? Did your wife ask people to take their shoes off?
Are you off your head?
No, I'm glad.
There's no house like that.
There are houses.
No,
like
there's not.
Are
you trying to tell me, you know, when people come in to visit someone,
yeah,
the people, the people
yes,
say, take your shoes off, visitor.
Yes, if you don't mind. I'm going to tell. Okay, you don't believe that because you don't go anywhere and you don't meet anybody, right?
Take your shoes off.
Yes, I want people to ring up and say that this is not an unusual thing. You go in the house, ask you, you wouldn't mind taking your shoes off, will you?
No.
Lovely big white carpet.
That may have been the time when people had a white carpet, but that was...
People still have white carpets.
They do not. That was the 60s. Do you remember the big white sheepskin rug used to sit in front of a fire? That was the 70s.
I still have that, but the sheep is still in it. Goodness. They talk over songs to start. No, this is a progression because, you know, people have realised their environment is now their home. Do you know the way your environment used to be? What?
Why are they not wearing...
You're not finishing.
No, but why are they not...
You're not letting me finish sentences.
Why are they not wearing... Because what you're talking about is a load of nonsense.
Because
that's
they know
thing.
they'll only be out in the extent.
One-off
that's what a social worker said to me one time. I remember when I was a social worker. What do you hear this? I was a social worker one time. I was never a qualified social worker. I was a social work assistant. And this social worker brought me around all these various places, you know, to give me experience as to all these various cases and all these different things, you know, like children not going to school and stuff like that. So I went to this house one time, and this woman is sitting there, and there's an 8-year-old child sitting on the sofa, and he's smoking.
Get a grip.
He is smoking, right? And I'm sitting there, and the social worker's talking to the girl, and the mother says, the reason why we're here, Mrs. McGinty, is that we're very worried about, we've had a notification from the education officer that your child hasn't attended school now for nearly 5 months. It doesn't seem to be any problem, any particular difficulty. And she says, he won't go. He won't go. I said, well, you know, it's basically, you could be prosecuted if the child... She said, what can you do? He won't go. I said, well, make him go. But how do you do that? And then I peeped up and I said, I hope you don't mind me asking me this, but how long has he been smoking? And she said, he's been smoking now for about a year. I said, if you don't mind me asking you again, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but, you know, where does he get cigarettes? She says, I give him the money to buy them. And then the other one peeped in. She said, well, you know, do you think that's a good idea? Sure, what can you do? And at the end of I'm sitting there, I said to myself, I wonder what this social worker is going to say to this woman. So she started to ask her questions. And she said to the woman, the social worker said to the woman, what's that? Let me try and get it right. Yes. She says, does he access his external environment? And the girl said, what? She says, does he access his external environment? She says, I don't know what you mean. And I said, I think she means, does he go out? No, he doesn't go out. So why not? He prefers to sit in and watch the TV.
No, you're making that up.
I'm not making it up. See, you have no imagination. You think that everybody's like you. They're different. I'm telling you. See, when you qualify as a social anthropologist, you'll see things, and you'll say Anderson is right. There's more in this world. There's more in this earth than man can conceive of.
Well, I'm observing people now.
I went into a house one time, and I'm going to tell you this, and you're not going to believe this. I went into a house one time. I opened the door, and I looked down, and there were no floorboards. Do you know those, what do you call those joists that go across the floor?
Okay, so people fall in bad times, hard times. Yes, I can believe that.
Believe what?
I can believe that.
Well, what happened to the floor?
They probably burnt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't mind? You think that's all right?
Of course I can.
You think that's normal?
No,
you walk into a house, people burn their floor?
Did I say that was normal?
No, but you can understand that.
I can understand that.
You can't understand a wee fella smoking.
No, I can't
What's
understand.
wrong with you? The reason why you understood it because you burnt your floorboards.
I can't understand an 8-year-old sitting smoking and not going to school.
I'm telling you. I swear, there's my right hand up to whatever passes for a god.
All right.
I'm saying to you now.
Well, okay.
And she said, does he access his external environment?
I accept it.
They talk. What?
I'll accept it.
All right.
What about
all the best at hospital, Sean? Get Sean to play something to cheer you up.
What about the phone call?
Yes, we know what poke salad is, and the last time I heard anyone talk about Tony Joe White was just a few minutes ago. I was waiting on you telling you how you met and influenced him in his career. You see, hateful people. Dear Dung Beetle and Woolly Bear, that is a hairy monobrow caterpillar. Did either of you listen to or push the red button and watch the Folk Music Awards on Radio 2 last night? The Dubliners, Don McLean and Ralph McTell, all got Lifetime Achievement Awards, so I was hoping that for once you could drop your persona of musical indifference about folk music and play a tune in honour and respect of your peers, perhaps that old Triangle, Vincent or the Mountains of Mourne. Thanks for reading and recycling this text, as no doubt you will do, Frank Mitchell. People have no confidence in me.
Nick in Portadown says, we have to take our shoes off in my sister's house. She has a wooden floor, Gerry. You're quite right.
Absolutely. I think once you tell people who visit your house to take their shoes off, I think you've lost a friend. And I don't care what anybody says. I think I've been asked, it used to happen in America all the time. People always do that, and I always hated it. As a matter of fact, one time when I had drink taken, I went into a person's house visiting. It was a young person, and the person said, would you mind taking your shoes off? And I said, I really do mind. I think I'll just keep them on. And there was an awkward silence. And now, so that person had to either say, well, you can't come in, or else accept it. That person accepted it, and I walked in with my shoes on. There's no muck on them or anything.
Well, Anne texts us in to say, that's not unusual, Gerry, about taking your shoes off. In my daughter's homes, everyone has to take their shoes off when they enter. That's from Anne.
You see, what's that all about? You know, imagine
Shan, you're wrong.
They didn't do that during the famine.
Shan, you're wrong. I was in a house just before Christmas and I had to take my shoes off.
Absolutely.
How do you stick that pleb?
What was that part?
That was me. Yeah.
How dare you say Sean didn't care for you because on the days he dedicated... because in the 2 days you were sick, he dedicated 2 records for you. I didn't know you'd done that.
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
And he wished you to get well soon?
Yeah.
Oh, did you really?
Yes.
You must have been after something.
Yes, we were told to take our shoes off. It still goes on. A lot of people texting the programme saying that Gerry's absolutely right.
Absolutely. I say this. You don't go out, you see. You don't meet anybody. All you do is meet men in pubs who are 80 years old.
Well, if I went to your house, should I ever be invited to your home, would I be asked to take off my shoes?
You won't get in.
Yeah.
You would not be asked to take off your shoes. You'd be asked to put on dirty ones. Could you please ask Gerry to play again the first record he played on Tuesday morning? I can't remember the name, but him and Sean were arguing about who recorded it. Sorry. Hi, guys. If you get a chance, would you play Bob Dylan? Everything is broken. Everything is broken. I love that song.
What about Aaron?
Aaron? Let him sweat it out. Aaron Sweater. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Aaron, sorry about that tasteless joke about your name. Good morning, Aaron.
All right, Gerry. How are you?
What are you saying?
I said that'll bring an eye to his face.
What can we do for you today, Aaron?
I'm looking for a 1960s Batman suit.
There's no answer to that, really. A 1960s Batman suit. What's the difference between a 1960s one and a modern Batman suit?
The original Batman suit.
Oh, the mask and the bat ears and everything.
Yes, yes.
Oh, you'll never get one of those. Where are you going to get
for
one?
the Lena one.
The Lena one? Sure, who's going to have a thing like that? Well, when did it not become a 60s Batman suit? 1970?
Aye, probably, aye.
When did they change? Did you not get the Batman suits?
I don't know when they changed. The modern ones is different.
Are they?
They're all leather and plastic and...
Couldn't have that kind of thing about you.
No.
All right, then. So what you want is a traditional Batman suit, probably the one that was worn in the TV series of the 60s.
Yes, the very thing.
And the early Batman movies before they got all rubbery and plastic and S&M. Good. All right, then. We'll try and get you that.
Aye, we're doing it for an aid of the Royal Victoria Hospital livery unit.
Okay. Good man. So if anyone out there's got a Batman suit they can maybe lend you for a good cause, contact us here at 08459 555 678. All right then.
That's very good, Jerry. Thanks very much.
Consider that done. I remember seeing an interview one time.
Ria wants to ask you a wee question.
I remember seeing an interview one time. I think it was on some talk show. George Clooney was on. George Clooney, of course, was Batman. And what do you call the wee fat one? It used to be Don Thingamy, Saunders, French Saunders. Don French? Is that the wee fat one?
I don't know.
Is that the wee fat one? Jennifer Saunders was the thin one. She's thin now. Don French was the wee fat one. She was huge. And she was sitting there, and she happened to be in the panel or whatever it was, the group of guests. And whoever the interviewer was asked George Clooney about, his career and his various movies, and asked him what it was like to be Batman. And he said, well, it's just one of those things that you do. And he didn't want to talk about Batman because George Clooney's a very smart guy and a very good actor, and he makes a lot of crap movies so he can make money to make good movies. Did you see The Ides of March?
No.
Did you see The Descendants?
I wouldn't look at...
J. Edgar Hoover.
No, J. Edgar
No,
Hoover's
forget about
one.
that one. Go and see
There's one sitting on top of our microwave.
Is there?
Yeah.
What is it, I wonder? That's a good place for a CD.
Yeah.
You might find
Saw
it
it this morning.
Okay, why didn't you lift
George
it off?
Clooney, he's a traveller.
Up in the Air.
Up in the Air, that's it.
Very good movie, excellent movie. But The Ides of March is better, and The Descendants is brilliant. The Ides of March and The Descendants. People out there, watch those two movies. Anyway, he was sitting talking about why he didn't like being Batman. And Don French says, what about all those outfits that you had, Batman outfits? What did you do with them? And he said to her, as if you didn't know. I thought that was funny.
There's a call on too.
You don't care.
No.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Jerry.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. You're well yourself?
I'm all right, thanks. Sean is very ill, I'm
Well,
glad
I'll
to say.
tell you why I was ringing you, Jerry.
Uh-huh.
It was a song that was on yesterday. It was a gentleman sang it, and it was beautiful. It was to do with County Clare, the Burren.
Sean Terrell. The song was called Ballyvaughan.
Bally what?
Vaughan. Is it called Ballyvaughan? Do you remember? Was it called Ballyvaughan?
I don't know. We don't know.
Ballyvaughan. Ballyvaughan.
Well,
Emma's got a note there, hasn't she?
beautiful.
It was a lovely
And I
song.
was wondering if you would have played it for me sometime.
I certainly will. I don't have it with me at the moment.
Yes.
It was called Bally something,
My
Ballyvaughan
God,
or something like that.
Jerry, it was heaven.
It was. It's a beautiful, beautiful song because I love those.
So do I.
Sometimes you hear songs like that and they're schmaltzy, and there are people singing them because they think they might sell records. And then sometimes you hear them and they're very operatic,
Yeah.
And then sometimes you get right in the middle and you hear the way the song should be sung. And that's exactly feel
It was
it exactly.
a beautiful song.
A beautiful song, beautifully sung by Sean Terrell.
Beautiful.
I will play that for you before maybe at the start of next week.
What about today? Could you not play it today?
Because I don't know where it is. It's upstairs on my desk, and you
is
know
it-
what my desk is like.
Well, if we can find it, would you play it?
I will.
Okay.
But you'll never find it.
All right.
You'll
Yeah,
never
well,
find it.
I would appreciate that, and thank you very much, Jerry.
Not at all. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye now.
There's
Thank you.
another call for you in one.
Bye-bye. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Jerry.
Yeah, Geordie. People were asking about you. Hadn't been speaking to you for a long time.
No, well, sure, the mayor pulled it and sort of busy.
Indeed. Well, this is the time of year when new life comes to
That's right, and the
comes to call.
daffodils is up and the snowdrops is up and all.
I was out the other day and I saw a couple of lambs freezing to death.
Well, it's my time of the year, too.
Your time?
I take a bath, once a year. So.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a big day. What preparation do you make for this?
Huh?
How many layers of clothing do you have on, before you take this bath?
Oh, a whole lot.
Do you build up? I mean, now can I ask you this now? And I hope you don't be offended. How often do you change your underpants. Now, I hope you're not offended.
No, but once a year. That's why I'm looking. That's why I'm going now. I'm going to have a bath.
Can you imagine that?
Will you have a bath today? Today, Jordan?
Today?
Well, no, I need carbolic soap or Lifebuoy soap.
I think you probably need high sulfuric acid. Listen, your bathroom, so obviously you haven't been in the bath for a year.
No.
You need to be very careful. God knows what lurks up your tap.
Oh, well, I'll give her a hose down.
Maybe somebody should
I'm
hose
looking carbolic soap or Lifebuoy soap.
Uh-huh. Well, you know, you need to be very careful between the toes. You know what may lurk in there. Toe jam.
I have a bar here.
Have you?
I have a bar of Lifebuoy soap.
Have you?
Yeah, sitting on my desk.
Well, that's right. A man gave us some, and we
Yeah.
love the smell of it because it reminds us of when we were wee.
I'll give it to you, Gerry, and you can post it to Jordan.
Why don't you post it to Jordy?
I'll give it to you.
Cut out the middle, man. What are you giving it to me for?
Because you have things to send, Jordy. Put it in the box. Put it in the parcel that you're sending to Jordy.
That means Jordy won't have a bath until it comes.
He can wait for another 2 days.
I reckon
2
I
days.
wait a week, Jar.
Yeah,
No, he may go critical.
No, there you are. I'll send it to
Are you
Jordy.
prepared to wait for a week for this?
Certainly.
If
Well,
you
maybe,
send it, you
well,
send
maybe
it
Lifebuoy
today.
is readily available in some of the better supermarkets. Maybe
No,
you can
can't
buy it.
get it nowhere.
Is that a fact?
Ah.
Oh, sure, I have it. I have a bar too. Okay. Well, I'm sending it to you, and I have to send you my book as well.
Oh, yes, yes. I'm looking forward to that, Jar.
That's a great read.
I'm looking forward to that book.
Now, what about your hair? Do you wash your hair? You know.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. Well, that's something.
I put what I called on to.
I'm afraid to ask.
What?
I'm afraid to ask what you might put on it.
Brill cream.
No, when I'm washing, I put fairy liquid on.
Oh, very
That's good. I like the lemon stuff.
Ah,
another
fairy liquid.
I bet your hair sticks up after that.
Oh,
now,
it is.
it would indeed be kind of like a punk. Now, one of the things I think is important is I have to inquire about your oxters. Is there a bit of a whiff coming out of there?
What?
A whiff on your under? Is there? No, I don't know how to put this.
No.
Do you not have a problem with underarm?
Oh, I have a couple of nice kids for sale, a white one and a black one, and females out of Whitey.
Female kids,
Aye.
black and white. What
Oh,
age are they?
One black and one
One black
white.
and one white. What age are they?
Oh, coming up to 2 year old.
All right then. So there you are. You're willing to sell those to any prospective
they're
buyer,
the
farmer?
white.
Okay, right.
Well, thank you, Jerry.
Okay, well, you wait until you receive the Lifebuoy, and then you can report back to me as to what the efficacious
will
nature.
indeed.
All right then. Thank you.
Bye bye. God
Thank
bless.
you. Bye. Bye. It's a big day for Geordie. Big decision that. This is Anthony Toner, great singer, great guitar player, who's appearing live on this program tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. Listen to that man playing the guitar. He's one of the best there is, as well as being a songwriter and a singer.
It's like your heart's done time in jail. After all these years, you have to let it out on bail. And if the past goes down the drain, I put my head in the clouds and I pray for rain. Well, 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 turn my face up to the lights. Well, 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 hope the days outnumber the nights. We held hands and we talked the whole night long. We knew the mood was right, but the time was wrong. Now the memory won't let me be. I'm like a plastic bag that's caught in a tree. Well, 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 turn my face up to the lights. Well, 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 hope the days outnumber the nights. And I know it's been a long, long time. I guess tonight you're just on my mind. Think of all the moves you had to choose. Pick the day you win, not the 1,000 times you lose. There's no sense in looking back. Just ask William Shakespeare and Fleetwood Mac. Well, 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 turn your face up to the lights. Well, 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 hope the days, well, 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 turn your face up to the lights. Well, 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 hope the days outnumber the nights.
That's the great Anthony Toner. He'll be appearing live and chatting on this programme, singing and picking and a grinning on this programme tomorrow morning. And that is Well, Well, Well from his album called, great album called The Duke of Oklahoma and All the Stories. A great show yesterday, kid. Old blind Jim stumbled around, pressing the dreaded black spot into the hands of Ken, and the undertone, "Ahoy, shipmate!" yelled Coyle as he was helped into his chair by a pregnant Emma. "Man on one, sighted on the main bow." Emma brought Coyle to his senses by hitting him repeatedly over the head with a rolled-up copy of Pregnant and Proud. Tommy, my cat, dropped lightly from the ceiling and said, "The Free State economy is in a bad state. When Eamon Dunphy is reduced to flogging Kentucky Fried Chicken, I saw him, I yelled. I saw him say, 'Give me a bite, baby.' He was on the Late Late Show," said Tommy. When asked by the brilliant Ryan Tubridy why he had sold out, Dunphy laughed with his new teeth, bought with the proceeds, and said, "They made me an offer I couldn't refuse. Johnny Giles would never do that," I said. If heaven forbid circumstances ever forced Johnny Giles into doing commercials on TV, his honesty and gravitas would lead him into DIY products or hardware appliances. "I can see Johnny Giles now," said Tommy, standing behind the counter of a hardware shop. Johnny would stare into the camera with both hands on the counter and say, "You want buckets? We got buckets. We got plastic buckets, iron buckets, zinc buckets, wooden buckets, glass buckets. If you want buckets, we got buckets." What a great pitch, I yelled. I feel compelled to run out and buy one. One what? A bucket. Tommy snorted and said, "Eamon Dunphy with his 'Give me a bite, baby,' really rattles my cage, bunches my shorts and curls my whiskers." "What are you going to do about it?" I yelled to Noel Thompson as he came out of the newsagent with the Exchange and Mart under his arm. "Yes, you, Thompson. What are you going to do about it?" I said. Noel glanced down at me and muttered, "Oh, it's you again, les miserables. What am I going to do about what?" "How soon they forget," I said to a policeman who was sleeping against the wall. "Last night on Newsline you said, 'Yes, you, Thompson, predicted nothing but doom, gloom and despondency for the people of Ulster like you do every night.'" "I'm not responsible for the news," said Noel. "I just report it. Not too fast, not so fast, anchorman," I yelled. "Your so-called reporting has the people of Ulster on the edge of a nervous breakdown. Give the people good news. Tell them they're going to have money. Tell them they won't be sacked. Tell them that people won't be making decisions on their behalf that will be harmful to them. It would seem to me that the man who delivers all the bad news has a moral duty to do something about it. So once again, Thompson, I say unto you, what are you going to do about it?" Noel collapsed like a cheap suit, began to snivel. "I can't cure unemployment. I can't round up all the hoodies. I can't repair all the potholes on the M1. I can't remove all the mattresses from the roundabouts in Craigavon. Besides, they're going to make Craigavon a city, if they can find it." "Perhaps not," I said. "In that case, you should keep silent and not go scaring the good Ulster folk. Many of them are Protestants. However, there is something you can do. Last night, you reported a broken sewer pipe in Polglass." I stood over Noel until he dug up the old pipe and replaced it with an old one. As he staggered away, I said, "If you can't fix it, keep your mouth shut. And that goes for Donna Trader too. I heard tonight's news night was just 3 minutes. Give me a bite, baby. Give me a bite, baby. Give me a bite."
Coffee.
I'm not well.
There's a wee cough. Oh.
I'm not well, you know. I feel mentally disturbed. These are the Salt Flats, or indeed This is the Salt Flats. From Northern Ireland. Never Going Back Again, Fleetwood Mac.
She broke down and let me in. Made me see where I've been. Been down one time, been down two times. Now gone back again. Been down one time, been down two times. Now gone back again. Don't know what it means to win. Come down and see me again. Been down one time, been down two times. Now gone back again. Been down one time, been down two times. Now gone back again.
That's Northern Ireland band, the Salt Flats, featuring Ciara Cowan and all kinds of people. They played live in this programme one time and they're great. They were great. They are great. Gentleman writes to me, Gerry, you're absolutely right. There's nothing more hateful than being asked to remove your shoes before going into someone's house. Do they live in a mosque, for God's sake? Or indeed for Allah's sake? Years ago, I would have gone along with it and endured the subsequent discomfiture of sitting around with others in their socks with holes in them, mismatching socks and ladies without any hosiery. I'm not a great one for feet at the best of times. Even the most perfect foot is a less than attractive sight in my book. But have you ever seen some women's feet who have slavishly followed the fashions for years, squeezing their little size 6 feet into all manner of haute couture shoes? They have feet like something from an abattoir skip, all squeezed up. I can't cope with that. If I'm ever asked now if I mind removing my shoes, I replied that I do indeed mind, and that on reflection, if my entry to their home is wholly dependent on the removal of my footwear, I'd rather not come in, thank you. I'll go home again. It's not as if I've just finished a shift at the Elephant Diarrhea Research Centre. These people need to get a life. That was cathartic, Stephen. See, Stephen got that off his chest, and he was right too to do that. According to Wikipedia, poke salad is a folk medicine and staple of southern US cuisine, also used for pokeberry ink during the Civil War. Sean is always calling you a liar. Why does he do that? Because he enjoys it. Tell him to keep his stories to himself if he isn't going to name names. I told you about that before. Don't be starting a story. He talks about somebody, then refuses to let us know who he's talking about. You shouldn't do that. Name names. Publish and be damned. Stop Sean with his guessing games. Tell him to state something instead of making you guess what he's talking about. Stop making me guess about things. In Eastern European countries, every everybody takes their shoes off at home and while visiting others, it's a sign of respect and would not be considered rude. Well, of course it wouldn't be considered rude, but we're not civilised here. We should keep our shoes on. Did you ever hear of a singer called DJ Curtin? Yes, I did. He was in a band called the Kerry Blues. Everybody in Hong Kong takes their shoes off before getting into the house. It's a hygiene thing in disease-conscious Hong Kong. Where are we living? South Africa? It's Victoria. I sang some Nina Simone for you the other year. Make me sing again. Quit your jabbering and you read out my email, says Victoria. That's about all we have time for. But at 5 minutes, what will you stop?
Well, I wanted to tell you there's a call.
Well, I have no time for that
why
because
not? You're 5 minutes.
I'll tell you why. Because I'm going to start off with Tony Joe White and we're going to end off with Tony Joe White.
Sure, you could...
There'll be a man or a woman talking about Billy in 5 minutes. Stop trying to ruin my life.
But there's a call for you.
I'll do what I like.
This programme is all about you taking calls and talking to the people.
Since when?
It's not about you playing music.
Since when? Since when am I supposed to talk to people?
There's a people there. You see, we have called them the people now.
The people. The people. I love the people, but I don't have to talk to them.
That's shocking.
Shocking.
We're our neighbors a long time back. They live right down the road from us in a shack just like our shack. We worked in the fields together and we learned to count on each other. When you live off the land, you don't have time to think about another man's color. Oh, the cotton was high and the corn was growing fine. But that was another place and another time. They sit out on the front porch in the evening when the sun went down. Willie would play and Laura would sing and the children would dance around. And I'd bring over my guitar and we'd play into the night. And every now and then Willie would grin and say, boy, you play all right. And that made me feel so good. Lord, the cotton was high and the corn was growing fine. But that was another place and another time. I remember we'd hitch up the mules when Saturday rolled around. We'd always stop by Willie's house and say, do y'all need anything from town? And he'd say, no, but why don't y'all stop on your way back home? And I'll get Laura May to cook up some corn bones. You know they're good. Oh, the cotton was high and the corn was growing fine. But that was another place and another time. The years rolled past our land and took back what they'd given. And we all knew we'd have to move if I was gonna make a living. So we all moved off and we went our separate ways. And it sure was hard to say goodbye to Willie and Laura May Jones. Oh, the cotton was high and the corn was growing fine. Yes, it was, but that was another place and another time. The years rolled past our door and we heard from them no more. Till I saw Willie downtown the other day. I said, y'all stop by tonight. Now we can sit down and eat a bite. We'd love to see your children and Laura May. He shook his head real slow, spoke with his eyes so kind. This is another place and another time. Oh, the cotton was high and the corn was growing fine. But that was another place and another time. No, the cotton was high and the corn was growing fine. But that was another place and another time. The cotton was high and the corn's growing so bad, y'all. But that was another place and another town.